Hello! Well, oh, I didn't tell you this. Welcome to, you gotta do a little this, Fridays with Friends. Oh, I gotta tag you, JP. Oh, what did I do?
Oh, no.
Tag.
There you go.
Welcome to Friday with Friends. Friday with Friends is our opportunity to talk about what is going on in the market, to answer any questions you have, so that when you have any real estate needs, you'll think of us. So, JP's here today.
Hello. How are you?
So this is JP Palmer. Today our topic is all about smart homes. And JP and I went out, I think for breakfast or lunch a little while ago, and we talked all about, this smart home stuff. And I'm like, you're really smart at that smart home stuff. I'm like, I want to have you on. And so we got you on here. So how did you get to be so smart with smart home stuff, JP?
I really think it's just the fact of, using it, but also being able to implement it in people's homes. I work as a project manager for Isaac Heating and Air Conditioning. So one of the things that people are really into, especially in today's world, is the smart home, is being able to control a lot of things while you're not home, because we all lead busy lifestyles. Especially I think between you and I, having kids, we know how that is. So we're professional Uber drivers half the time.
But we don't get paid like them. So.
No,
well,
definitely not.
We don't get paid for our mileage.
But not being in the home as often as probably our parents were when they were growing up is something that we have to, I guess, kind of take into account when we look at home smart stuff. And
that the lifestyle changes too, but also I love efficiency.
Yes.
And I think that there's something to be said about this ability to feel relaxed, to know what's going on in your house, to be able to control it so that you can even live a more efficient life too. So
yeah, definitely. Peace of mind is huge for people, because you want to be able to leave your home, and even if you're traveling, have that peace of mind where you don't have to worry about things potentially breaking or coming home to water all over your basement because your water heater's leaked.
Yes.
So,
no, thank you. And it always happens before like a birthday or a holiday, or all of our clients, we always say that. So hi to everyone who's joining us. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Feel free to comment, add your favorite smart home products. So if you want to talk on them, what we're going to chat about today is kind of 4 of our main sections within smart homes. So being a smart home, it's also a connected home. And it's basically the idea of finding ways to automate appliances or activities or protection within the house. Most of it coming from your smartphone, but also connected to a lot of different places. So apparently, what we're hearing, I love a good stat, the global home automation market is going to be worth over $122 billion by 2020.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, but it's just showing that it's exploding and they're constantly thinking of new ideas. So today we'll probably go over a couple that you might be familiar with, but there's even some that, as JP and I were talking, we've learned so much about these really cool products that, of course, I want them all. So happy Mother's Day to me, because I wish that I would have known these to ask for them.
Hopefully your husband's watching.
I know, tune in, Eddie. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Dawn. Hey, guys, thank you so much. Okay, so let's get right into it.
Sure.
So the first thing I want to talk about is the hub, right? Most of people know about it. What is a hub? Just so we can kind of use that as a foundation.
Yeah, I think, the hub is, I guess the best way I can describe it is a command center for your home. A lot of people are used to, having an Amazon Echo or, talking to Alexa to be able to do everything. So it's really just a central command center for your home and being able to do the majority of what you need to do through that. In
the main 3, there's Amazon, there's Google, and what is their third one?
Apple is the third one. Yeah.
Yep. So you've got those 3 ones, and within there's a couple different ones, but this is the hub, that's that command center. So anything more on the hub?
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, everything is done through that.
Let's get into the good stuff then. Yeah. Okay, so the second piece we want to talk about is more of security and home protection. The one that I know about is the doorbell. So tell me a little bit about how a doorbell can be smart.
Nowadays it's pretty crazy. Even when I walk up to a home, a lot of times I'll walk up and I'll see a lot of people are using the Ring doorbell. There's many different types of doorbells out there that are going to be security based. So yes, you press someone comes up to the home, they press the button, it's going to ring, and then immediately that's going to notify your phone. Someone's at my door. You have the access for that camera inside that doorbell to show you who's there, whether it's somebody just dropping off a package, which through Amazon, that happens quite often at our house.
Ditto! So, me and Eric are like, place a few orders.
Yep. So, but also it gives you the ability, if you know somebody, to be able to actually talk to that person, which is pretty crazy, where you can say, okay, who is it? Because if you've got a contractor, if you've got somebody over that you know needs to get in the home, you can also let them in by that feature as well.
Which goes into next, which is in terms of maybe like smart locks.
Yes.
So we actually have one. I asked for it for my birthday and for Christmas last year, and it's so cool. I mean, I'm sure there might be more to it, but we don't have the ring. Oh, this is probably dangerous to be sharing. But basically, I've loved it because let's say we have a dog walker, or let's say we're out of town and we forgot something and our parents need to get in. Like, yes, there's codes, but to be able to just click and to know it's locked or unlocked, this sounds really crazy, but you know when your kids fall asleep in the car and you don't want anything to be in the way of the transfer? And I'm like, I can have it unlocked so I can walk up to the door and there's nothing extra that could get in my way. I'm obsessed with the smart locks.
Yeah. Same thing here.
Great.
I've done that many times where I'm dropping my keys at the door, and then I've got to try to search for them in the middle of the night when it's dark, and it's not fun.
Yeah, mean keys. Well, as a realtor, I've always had so many keys, and I'm like on mission operation 0 key world. So if anybody can get me, I'm sure you do. Yeah. Okay, so what other sort of home security? So the cameras that you're having in a house. What else? What other smart features can you have?
Yep.
With that?
I mean, for home securities, there's indoor and outdoor cameras. Besides the doorbells having those cameras in them, you can set up a security system that's outside. And the great thing about a lot of the outdoor cameras now is they actually have the recognition to know the difference between a person and an actual thing that's outside the door.
Jeez.
A lot of them at night have night vision, so you can actually see if it's a person, if it's an animal just going by the door, whatever. But it gives you a full 180. A lot of the cameras now give you a full 180 degree radius of actually what you can see. And a lot of them actually are implementing facial recognition. So if you have someone that you don't recognize coming to your door, it can actually zoom in on that person's face and have facial recognition.
Oh man. I wonder if it can recognize when I'm in mom mode versus actually doing my hair. I guess it's a face, right? Awesome. Okay, so we've got smart locks. Okay, this one's cool. Tell me about security with, you're talking about leak smart and kind of water. So let's get into that.
Yeah, so, again, water is probably one of the highest priorities that people look at when you're traveling out of town, when you're away for the day. I go into numerous homes where people are looking to replace their water heater because unfortunately the water heater has leaked and it's run water all over their basement or whatever. So it's something that is very key nowadays, and they make something called Leak Smart, which actually 2 different ways you can really do it. They make a little hub where the valves and everything communicate with the sensors, but you can actually have a valve that's put on the water main to the house. And they make an app for Leak Smart as well, where you can actually get on the app. Let's say you're traveling and going on vacation for a week.
Yeah, or I'm even thinking our investors. Yep. Our investors, if you have a vacant property, or even if you have a tenant in there, just to be able to oversee it.
Yeah. So it's key because that way you can get on your phone, hit that app, and I want to turn the water off to the house, hit a button, this thing will literally turn the water main off to the house. So you don't have to worry about that leaking.
How is it so strong? Normally I'm like trying to turn water mains on.
Yeah.
I guess there's systems for that.
And before, that's a great point. One of the things we have to look at is to make sure the shutoff valve is in good working order.
Yes.
A lot of times they sit and there's so much corrosion on there. As soon as that goes to try to spin it, if it breaks it, now we've got a bigger issue on our hands.
Yes. So you got to make sure everything it's connected. Yeah.
Yeah. But the other great thing is they actually make these Leak Smart sensors, which communicate with the shutoff through the hub, where you can put a sensor right next to your water heater in your basement. Because how many times do we actually go in our basement and check on the water heater all the time? You know, typically we're in the basement doing laundry or storing stuff down there. But you know, you can put them underneath sinks. You can pretty much put them anywhere next to a refrigerator if you've got a water line going to it. Where anytime this detects any sort of water, it will immediately send a text to your phone. It's going to send a sensor to that valve shut off, and it's going to turn the water off to the house.
And you know, so the next thing too is standby generators, which is an option too. But the key with, you know, leak smart generators is that you're notified. So let's say that water thing happened, right, and something crazy. You know about it.
Yep.
The big problem comes when it's minutes, it's hours, it's days. I had a property that I knew of that their pipes burst, and the only way we knew was because someone drove by and saw ice pouring out of the house.
Yeah.
And it had been days since that had happened and no one knew. So it's more of a notification to say, hey, we got to do something about it. So because every minute that there is a leak happening, it's thousands and thousands. So that's where the power comes in. Awesome. Okay, so fire and smoke. So you have these detectors. So what's special that makes these kind of things smart?
I think nowadays you can wrap everything into one thing. You know, you look through most houses, you've got smoke detectors on the ceiling, and then you've got a separate carbon monoxide detector plugged into an outlet in the wall.
Yeah.
So now they actually make, you know, Nest makes what they call a Nest Protect, which does both fire, smoke, and CO all in one, where you can actually plug these right into the wall. They can communicate with each other. It uses 2 different wavelengths to detect fires, whether it's a fast-moving fire or whether it's just a smoldering fire, to be able to detect that. But what it'll
Didn't even know there was a difference.
Yeah. What it will
Smarter
do
than me.
is immediately send a text to your phone. All right, there's an alert. You've got an issue. You've got to be able to do that. And the great thing about this is it automatically checks itself every 200 seconds. So every just over 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
I was like, good math there.
Yeah, it's constantly monitoring itself to check things in the house to make sure there's nothing going on. It'll also alert you when your batteries get low and you got to change the batteries.
That's great.
You know
what I also heard about this too is that there's a way to connect it directly to 911 or to the fire department, because I always say, like, middleman is the last thing I want to play.
Yep.
But think about it. If I'm away, if I'm somewhere where I can't get to my phone, or if I'm an investor, it's like, don't call me, like, go straight to them. Yeah. We were just talking in our office and someone had accidentally sprayed the fire alarm, and the fire department showed up, and this was someone who was out of their house. It wasn't even the owner who had sprayed it. And it's like, those are the kind of things that show the power of connectivity that's benefiting and saving money, but also helping protect the people that are inside too, which I think is so cool.
Yes.
So, okay, awesome. Yeah. So the reason I wanted to end on carbon and smoke is because you told me about this awesome lighting piece. So the third person I want to talk about is lighting. So how does smoke and lighting connect? This is really cool.
Yeah, what I was sharing with Mandy earlier is they actually can make lighting now that changes color when CO and smoke are detected in the house. So for people, let's say, gosh forbid, you have a fire in the middle of the night or a CO detector goes off, you're in the pitch black, the lights will actually blink and alert you that something is wrong in the house.
So cool.
And they can turn on and off, they can, pulse, whatever they need to be able to send that alarm, and same thing to be able to notify the fire or police department.
Yeah. And you think too with heating, I'm hearing impaired. Anyone who's hearing impaired, it's just an additional form where it was like saying they can flash the lights, they can make them bright red. I think of with kids to be able to have everything lit, so it's not like I just want to go get my kids, but I can't see them, or if the power's out, all of those things. Wait, if the power's out, we'll go to standby generator.
Yeah.
But all of these reasons of why lighting is just a whole nother way to be connected and how it can just provide so much value.
Yep.
The other thing we had talked about with lighting too was just turning on and off. I know I don't have smart bulbs, but we have clients that will have smart bulbs. Think about how cool it could be for a showing when you walk in and you can say, hey Alexa, turn on the lights. And all of a sudden, all the lights go on in the house for a showing, and you're like kind of getting the wow factor there too. But it's turning them on and off. You have lots of grocery bags. You have all those things. You can do where they're actually smart bulbs, but you can also change the color. You can also modify in that way too. So our third one was lighting. Anything else in lighting?
I was just gonna say it's like the modern day clapper, believe it or not. But,
yes.
I actually experienced that when we went to Easter to my fiance's brother's house. Her sister-in-law has that, where she walked in and said, Alexa, turn on blue light, and there was a blue lamp in the corner that automatically turned on. Mm-hmm. So it's pretty wild. That
is insane, and you don't realize how valuable it is until you have it, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is a game changer. Mm-hmm. Also, my husband jokes we have like 1 million lights throughout the house, where it's like, which one does this one go to? And I feel like this could be a good solution. Yep. Hi, Marcy. Thanks for tuning in. So the other thing too to think about is, as we're going through these, we're going to finish with 4 maintenance, but with these, sometimes they add value to your house, and sometimes these are extra little pieces that can be efficient that you can move. But also, if you're thinking about putting your house up for sale, you can start to think, okay, what are the things I need to make sure that I tell my realtors so that we can highlight it? We just had a listing too where we were able to say, when we went in for an open house, it's Alexa, turn on Mozart. Hey, Alexa, turn on all the lights. And it creates this atmosphere that's really, really special when it comes to showing your house too.
Sure.
All right, so the last one. So maintenance. So we touched a little bit on Nest, but I wanted to make sure we kind of had its own little section to talk about how Nest can make your home smart.
Yeah, so, and I think Nest is probably the biggest name that most people know. And there's a lot of other, thermostats out there that are capable of doing the same thing.
Right.
But most people, when you talk about
I totally think of Nest first.
You think of Nest.
Yeah.
But every manufacturing company that makes a furnace or air conditioner also has their own thermostat that can link up to a certain furnace or air conditioner.
Nest is the app
that can do that. So Nest is actually a thermostat that it can be put in. A lot of people are used to that because you can pretty much program it just like a very generic programmable thermostat.
Okay.
But the great thing about Nest is after using it for a certain amount of time, whether you're turning up, down, it'll actually know your patterns, and it can automatically change the heat and cool temperature where you don't even have to touch it.
That's very cool.
So after that, it can be able to do that. So, but also through the app, you can program it where if you're leaving the house at 7 o'clock, 7:30 in the morning to go to work, you can kick the temperature back down. Mm-hmm. A half hour before you get home, if it's in the dead of winter, the heat's going to kick on and it's going to be nice and warm when you get home.
So here's where I'm going with this. I want my camera to know that Mandy's in the house, to be able to jack the heat up because I love it warm, and then when my husband enters the house, to lower it because he likes it ice cold.
Sounds like me and Erica. Yes.
See, look at this connection.
Yep.
So yeah, Nest is cool, and even there's ways to have temperature sensors in specific rooms.
Yes,
that's really cool.
Yeah, you can have you can put temperature sensors in each room, and a lot of your general manufacturers actually make zoning systems as well that can just hook up to the furnace and AC. A lot of people, we've put zoning systems in where we can actually go into their ductwork and do it, and it's kind of linked that way, but these temperature sensors allow you to recognize, okay, there's a room that's severely colder or warmer than another one based on the communication that it's
that's awesome.
Transmitting.
And I always like to keep, especially with kids, that's what I think about, is making sure that their rooms are a comfortable temperature, especially when they're young. You're always worried about that too. Yep. So, and that, think about the money that you're just saving through that, through it being smart, through being able to turn, heat up and down. Like if it just does that automatically, that's pretty powerful.
Yep.
That's cool. Okay, so some other fun ones that we found, a sprinkler controller. That you can find a way to control any sprinklers. Now, I don't have sprinklers, but if you have sprinklers, it can turn it off when they know it's going to rain. Yeah. It'll be connected with if there's rain coming down, so it turns it on and turns it off. There's also, so we've got the Roomba, we've got those kind of things. There's an auto lawnmower.
Never heard of that.
It's like a Roomba for your lawn. Which is amazing. It'll go over all of the dog toys and whatnot too, I imagine. But then the last one that we talked about, just in sort of these fun extra ones, is a smart plug. So there's so many appliances that you have within your home where you can turn them on and off. So think slow cooker. I think there's actually a smart slow cooker too.
Yep.
But microwave. So think, coffee or coffee maker to be able to turn those on. That these smart plugs are so cool to automate all the things within your house. So anything else we didn't touch on?
No, I think that's it.
We covered a lot of ground here, guys.
Yeah.
So we hope that you kind of, whether you are, whether you're new to the smart home game, whether you've done it for a while, it's so cool, and there's so much out there to protect you, to save you money, to allow you to live your life more efficiently. All of those things I'm up for, and I love them. So hopefully this got you some new ideas. Feel free to reach out to us, reach out to JP for any other questions that you guys might have, and to help with install, or to think about specific needs for your home, or to just make a wish list for your next birthday or anniversary, because these things are all really, really cool. So that's all I got. All right, well, thank you for tuning in to So Good Friday with Friends. Again, Friday with Friends is our opportunity to answer questions, to talk about what's going on in the market, so that if you have any real estate needs, you will think of our team to be able to help you. We absolutely love what we do, and you can find us at www.friendonyourside.com. Thanks for tuning in.